Oh, sorry.
Almost every person in America has done it at least once. Some people enjoy it, some people do not. If you wonder what I'm talking about, it's riding the modern day roller coaster. Have you ever wondered where the idea came from? What was the catalyst that started theme parks, adventure parks, and the traveling carnivals? Let's take a look at the history of the roller coaster. From the beginning of the earliest coasters through the decline of the Great Depression, to the rise of the roller coasters again in the 60s and the 70s, through the 20th and the 21st centuries, let's see how the roller coaster became a staple for summer vacations, destination spots for families. According to HowStuffWorks.com, roller coasters have a long history that can be traced back as far as the 16th and 17th centuries. It all started in Russia. It started with an ice slide, a giant wooden structure up to 70 feet tall covered in ice. These have been credited as the very beginnings of the modern-day roller coaster. The Mauchunk Switchback, which was originally a converted railway car, according to Britannica.com, it was built in Summit Hill, Pennsylvania, and it was credited as being the first ever roller coaster. It was open to tourists at a bargain price of $1 a ride, which was actually not much of a bargain back then. It was very slow and a very extremely bumpy early thrill ride. We can flash forward to June 16, 1884 on Coney Island, New York. The roller coaster is finally made available to the masses. It traveled at a whopping 6 miles per hour and it cost a nickel to ride. The roller coaster was off and running. By the 1920s, there were approximately 1,500 to 2,000 roller coasters in operation. The Great Depression of the 1930s, seeing the amusement parks on the verge of extinction and the roller coaster perilously close to destruction. Next, the roller coaster rises again. July 17, 1955 sees the opening of Disneyland in Anaheim, California. Just a few years later, in 1959, the Matterhorn bobsled was opened to the public. According to DisneyHistory.com, it was the first steel track roller coaster ever constructed. 1961, seen the opening of the first Six Flags amusement park, Six Flags Over Texas, and this park is still in operation today. The 1960s were a defining time in the history of the roller coasters. Many new parks were opened and many long-standing parks were closed for good. But it was also a decade ushering in a new era of the roller coaster. The 1970s have long been deemed as the second golden age of the roller coaster. 1976 seen the opening of the American Revolution at Six Flags Magic Mountain, the first modern steel roller coaster to feature a 360-degree vertical loop. Roller coasters continue to rise in popularity for the next 2 decades. They continually defied the laws of physics to make them larger, faster, and with more of a G-force. They began to include loops and severe drops as a way to shock and amaze the rider. Roller coasters of the present day and the roller coasters of the future. June 1st, 2000, seen the opening of the Kraken at SeaWorld Orlando. The Kraken is a steel 2 vertical loop with 7 inversions, and if that is not enough, it was the introduction of the roller coaster that is completely floorless. It continues to be a favorite among many roller coaster enthusiasts. According to the Houston Chronicle, Monday, October the 19th, 2015, the Switchback opens in Seguin, Texas. The Switchback has been billed as the world's only wooden shutter roller coaster at a ZDT amusement park. The coaster includes a 62-foot drop and an 87-degree end-of-track climb, which is the greatest for a wooden roller coaster. The coaster delivers thrills at every turn. I have visited several amusement parks in my lifetime, and over the course of raising 3 children have been subjected to a multitude of scary yet thrilling rides. When we enter a park and look to the sky and see the largest coaster, we know that that will be our destination while we're at that park. And we put our fear aside for a moment to say we rode it and survived it. After the screams have stopped and we realize that we are still alive, we continue to marvel at what we perceive as fun. And even though I don't say it at the time, I do send up a little prayer that I'm still alive. Roller coasters will continue into the future as a way to shock and awe riders of all age, from the beginnings in a coal mine to the Great Depression when it looked as if the coaster was to be history, to the rise of an empire for Walt Disney, to the forward-thinking inventors that dare to try the limits of gravity. I think the roller coasters are going to be here to stay.